Alright, so welcome guys. Okay, so let us discuss a little bit what really happened on the market. If you guys are watching right now, I believe you guys should have been able to see that there has been some movement happening on the market, and certainly one of those is appearing from the current gold market, where since the early part of the market sessions, if you guys are watching right around this prices has been rising from 3,330 area and has been able to rise from those price towards the highest for today at around 3,345 area. But from there, it seems that prices hasn't been able to go higher, and there is a clear resistance from yesterday prices, if you can still remember. So as prices broke down lower than that, that has been building up a very good resistance area throughout that market, and that possibly has been giving a little bit of a resistance there, and prices is likely to go lower from there after hitting those prices, and it has been achieving those prices, and after slowly going down lower, it has been very much accurate to see how that movement goes for now. So from there itself, I would love to say that I'll be expecting that prices should be going down lower from here. it seems that prices continue to go down lower, so I don't really see any reason that prices could be going high, especially since last we are likely to see that prices will be slowing down, maybe back towards 3,326 max for today, and definitely the tendency will be moving within this sideways range 3325 3345 area, guys. Okay, so I will be expecting that since most of the news has been out, I'll be expecting that the market movement will be slower for today, guys. Alright. Prices has been relatively slow, ranging, and not really offering much of a movement, so to say, guys. So I think right now, so I think that is pretty good on the market. has already been out, and definitely with this kind of market movement, expect okay, so I think since there's not much of a move and prices are still relatively slow, let us switch on and see what's been happening on the other assets. Okay, so silver prices on the other end has actually been moving much better compared to silver, guys. Right now it's trying to break out higher, and there's a possibility that prices will be testing the resistance at $37.04. And I know that prices is a little bit slow, but certainly there are some signs that prices could go higher from here. So definitely I would love to see how that goes, and if prices continues to go higher, there are chances that prices could sustain and continue to go higher and higher from here. So that's why I would love to see how that goes, and ultimately with this kind of price movement, I would be expecting that prices could start to go higher from here, guys. Alright, so we'll see how that goes. And if prices starts to break higher than $36.90, I think there are good chances that prices is building up a very good consolidation right here, guys. Alright, so I think I'll be waiting for prices breaks out rather than moving on a sideways, because so far the ranges that the silver market has also been moving between that very tight ranges too. So that's why I'm still a little bit skeptic and a little bit careful to see how that goes, because if prices still moves on that sideways range, a possibility that prices could be dropping after hitting the high, and definitely I would love to see better market confirmations where prices starts to break higher and go higher rather than the ones that are here. Okay. And I think there are good potential that prices will be testing the high at $36.40. Meanwhile, the movement on the gold market is relatively slow, so I think if you guys are expecting there will be a little bit of movement for tonight, it should be appearing from this market, guys. Alright. Okay, right now the gold market movement here is definitely a little bit slower, as I've already been telling you guys. And I think I will be much more focusing on the silver market. If I'm expecting a move could be happening soon, it should be coming out from this market, guys. Alright. Okay, so let us see whether the silver market movement could start to break out higher, guys. Alright. Okay, it seems that prices are still a little bit slow around those prices, as I've already told you guys. So we'll try to see out how that plays, and if prices could break higher, I think that will be a good case scenario on the market, guys. Alright. Okay. So it seems that silver market has chances to finally break out higher from here. Maybe maximum we can see prices will be testing $37.05 first, guys. So let us see how this market movement continues, because there's a possibility that prices could go higher. Okay, so it seems that prices are still trying to break out higher, but not without a lot of great success on the silver market. So we'll try to see out how this plays. And if prices continues to go higher, I think that is a good case in the market. But certainly right now, prices on both gold and silver is also a little bit slower. Nothing much for now. So it's going to be a slow market, guys. That is, and that will be the obvious case on the market right now, guys. And based on this market movement, prices are right now still moving a little bit slow. So I would love to see how this plays. Right now, gold is right now hanging around those prices, not moving much. Silver prices is also the same, not moving much, but it's trying to break out higher. So I think that is the best thing, other than price has been a little bit slower, guys. So that's why we are still waiting, trying to see out how this plays on the market, guys. Alright, so let us see. Prices goes higher, I think this is a good chance on the silver market for tonight. Alright, so let us take a little bit of a look on the currency strength charts for tonight, and to show you guys a little bit of what's the movement happening here on the market. So from what we have been seeing so far, yes, prices has been a little bit slow, that's true. And with what we have been seeing so far, the possibility that prices could go higher on the Japanese yen still remains pretty wide open, guys, because as we have been seeing so far, prices have still remained and go higher for tonight. So I think that itself is still a very good scenario on the market, expecting on how this kind of market movement works. And based on that, I think we are still seeing that the safe haven currency tonight has been the strongest, where we are seeing that the Japanese yen as well as the Swiss franc is still going higher. So I think that itself is still a pretty good scenario happening on the market, where most of the other currency has started to slow down. So if you guys are watching that, the Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar is the weakest pair, and most of the other currency has been a little bit mixed alongside with the Australian dollar and the New Zealand dollar for tonight. So if you guys are watching, not much of a move, and definitely the signs is very clear that tonight the euro is the second strongest alongside with the Japanese yen and the Swiss franc. And also if you are watching carefully, that the pound sterling, USD, Canadian dollar and Australian dollar has been relatively the same. So I would love to see any greater market movement that could be appearing coming out from the market. If not, I think market movement will still be a little bit slow, and it's going to take some times before we actually see some good things happening on the market. So I think we gotta be patient, try to see out how this works. And if any good chances that market could go higher, I think that could be a really good case. But right now it seems that most of the currency market has been relatively stable and hasn't been moving a lot with a lot of momentums, as you guys could see, as today is the market has been a bit slow, as you guys know, and you guys could actually check it out on your own that most of the movement has been relatively stable alongside the market, guys. Alright, so that's why I would love to wait and try to see how this plays out. And certainly if things started to change, I think that could be a little bit interesting on the market. If not, I think it's going to take some times before we can actually see some better movement here on the market, guys. Alright. Okay, so right now if we are trying to see the momentum appearing on the US dollar itself, we could actually see a very clear sign for tonight that the US dollar index has been relatively stable for tonight and hasn't been able to move a lot. So I think that should be giving us something on the market, that with the US dollar index slightly a bit weakened, we are expecting that prices could start to go higher on the market on gold and silver. But unfortunately, as you guys know, that the market movement has been relatively stable and we haven't been able to see much on the market, so I would be a little bit cautious and be a bit careful to see how this market movement could be moving, because so far silver market hasn't been able to break out, and I believe the same thing should be appearing on the gold market, where the movement has been slightly limited, not showing us any great movements, and possibly will be ranging for most of the time around these ranges. As you guys do know that today is the last day of the week and most of the big events has been out, so market movement will be relatively slow, and I've already been telling you guys about it. So the only way that you guys could try to see how this plays out is be patient if you guys are trying to trade on the market, and wait for your chances happening on the market, guys. Alright. Okay, so it seems that prices hasn't been able to go higher for now. Prices has been relatively slow too. And it seems it's going to take some time before we actually start something happening. Okay, so prices has been not moving at all, guys, so gotta be patient, and I believe that the silver market movement isn't much as well. So I think let us try to discuss what has been happening on the US dollar index and try to see what is appearing in the market. Okay, so what really happened down here on the US dollar index? So right now, based on this 30-minute time frame charts, we can actually see a very clear trend appearing on the market. And what is that? We're actually seeing that prices are still right around there, nothing much, and we are actually seeing good chances that prices could actually start to be moving lower, guys, because it seems that prices has been doing so, and the likelihood for prices to drop is really much better from here, because based on this alone, we started to see that the US dollar index starts to drop, and the possibility that prices could be dropping is much better from here. So I think there's a chances for that to happen, and I'll be watching carefully on how this moves, because certainly the possibility is wide open for now for prices to start dropping, and let us see how good the chances for that to happen, guys. Alright. And based on this, we are seeing that signs that are still showing that prices has been slowing down, and you guys could actually see the path that prices starts to slow down, and you guys could see that it has failed to go higher, and the likelihood for prices to go down is really much better from here. So that's why we are starting to see signs that prices is trying to go higher, but so far it hasn't been doing really well. It has been a little bit slow, but the chances for the US dollar index to drop is right now much better with this kind of market movement, guys. So that's why we have been seeing chances that prices on the US dollar index could be weakening further, and that should be able to help push up the gold prices and the silver prices that we have been watching. So I think that are the good chances that should be happening on the market. Okay, so with that, I'm seeing that good chances that prices could go higher. Try to see how that goes. We should be able to see that gold will be trying to push higher, but so far without a lot of great success, I would say. And it's going to take time, as we've already been telling you guys. The prices has been a little bit slow, not really giving us a lot of signs. And right now we are trying to see how prices will be trying to break out higher. 3345, 3342 area. And for the silver, as I've told you guys, we'll try to see how prices will be trying to break out higher. And if it doesn't go higher, I think prices will be ranging, same as for the gold market, guys. Alright. Okay, it seems that prices hasn't been able to go higher, and it's likely to range again. I'm expecting to see the same reactions also should be happening on the gold market, even though it won't be much. As you guys could see, the market movement has been relatively around 50-60 pip maximum from its peak. So if, like me, waiting for confirmations to the market, it seems that it's going to be a bit late. So definitely gotta be more cautious and try to see how that goes on the market, guys. Alright. Okay, so prices are still around there, nothing much. We'll try to see out how this works, and overall price movement has been a little bit slow. As you guys could see yourself, nothing much of an action, and we are still seeing that prices has been a little bit slow, guys. Okay, yes, high PL, nice to see you. But I'm afraid that the market movement isn't much, guys. So definitely gotta be patient, guys. How are you doing, PL? Okay, that's good. Are you right now free with your job? It's Friday, right? So should be a little bit freer, and it's not yet 11th of July. Holiday today, so it's so slow. Yes, definitely. Yeah. And honestly, if you guys have been watching the market since yesterday, I think you guys could actually feel it, that the market has been ranging a lot. So PL and anyone who are here on the live streaming sessions, countdown for one more week. Yeah, certainly that will be the case. One more week, right? I still remember that. So if you do pay attention, that market has been like ranging on this range, and then another range around here, and it's also ranging again right now at their very own small ranges. So I think that could be a little bit tricky to trade, and usually only just one candlestick really defines the overall market movement. So ranging, and then one big move that you guys couldn't even chase, and sometimes, honestly speaking, I couldn't even write the signals. If the drop is too fast and there's no consolidations, there's no ranging, there's no consolidations that really allow us to get the confirmations, and immediate price just drops like the ones that we are seeing right after the NFP news. We are seeing that prices drop like ultimately 300 pips, but the drop immediately just happened in I believe 15 seconds, drop 200 pips, and then you couldn't even chase it down unless you have already been preparing, watch it on your screens. Otherwise, you will be missing it out. So sometimes I would say it's a blessing in disguise, I would say, for trades on the market. Because sometimes when there's big news, you couldn't be able to chase that one move, and most of the market will be ranging as you guys are seeing right now. But again, I think it's going to be a much complicated market if you guys are asking my opinion. And next week onwards should be much more interesting, as well as the 9th of July tariff. Yeah, certainly it's a deadline, but honestly speaking, I'm worried that the possibility that we are going to see that the market movement will likely to be moving in this kind of ranges is really huge again, guys. So that really scares a little bit, I would say, because the possibility for that to happen is quite huge on the market. So I will be a little bit skeptic and a little bit careful on how we approach next week, because other than this Thursday or this Wednesday, if you do look closely, that it's most of the time prices are going up right outside of what we are usually active around those hours. Yeah, so certainly that will be a little bit tricky. And especially when he speaks, yeah, certainly that will always be the case, and it will be a long journey as long as he is still in charge of the administration. So it will certainly be the case on the market, where from the US administrations, a lot of things could happen right on the weekend, guys. So sometimes during the Monday market, you can do a lot of reactions, and suddenly prices just goes up really quick. Or let's say you are holding trades throughout the weekend, and suddenly change could happen like in a snap, and then the night he could change again, and then the next morning he could change again. So anything could happen on the market. But if you guys are asking me, it's part of the market. We need to adjust with the market. We need to try to see out how this plays, because otherwise there's no way to do it. But again, I'm sure that after facing such a huge ranging, we could actually see things like happening last week, where we started to see that every single day is dropping. So I'm sure that on some weeks we could be having problem, but on some weeks we could be gaining and making some good trades on those weeks. So it's like literally trying to adjust towards the market conditions, and during the bad weeks we try to be more conservative, try not to overtrade, and making good trades more when the conditions is really allowing us to do so. Okay, so definitely today I'm not really seeing the chances for that. Same thing on the silver market, hasn't been moving a lot too. So that's why I am still waiting on the market, guys. Alright, so let us see how that goes. Ultimately, I think prices are still likely to be ranging for the most likelihood, and if there's a breakup, I will try to watch it much carefully, guys, because the tendency for prices to range is literally really huge, guys. Alright, so let me check a little bit on the currency trend charts and see whether there's any changes on the market, and let us see. Okay, so PL, actually what do you do on your work? I'm actually quite curious. Are you a IT, or are you in IT or something in finance? Okay, because certainly backlog, it's like accounting or IT, that should be the case. Alright. Okay, so right now, watching through the currency strength charts, we can actually see that price movement hasn't been changing a lot. As you guys could see, that Japanese yen is still the strongest pair, Australian dollar is the weakest pair, and based on this market movement, I think AUD Japanese yen could be one of a good trade. Oh, okay, doing sales. same like me, but certainly the conditions here isn't really supportive, I would say. Yeah, it's a little bit slow market here on our side. Yeah, but sales, okay, that must be a tough job. So the handover, yeah, certainly, yeah, huge responsibility, I believe. Yeah, a lot of small tiny details that need to be carefully done. I'm sure that will be the case. Okay, so based on this currency strength charts, honestly nothing much, guys. And let's say if you are checking out AUD Japanese yen, try to see if there's any notable movement. You guys could actually see that after that strength coming from the Japanese yen, right, the Asian sessions prices just drop, and then right now it has been slowing down, not really offering us much, guys. NZD Japanese yen, I believe we should be able to see a very similar chart pattern also appearing on the NZD Japanese yen market too. AUD Japanese yen market is also showing the same signs, and I believe that prices is also literally the same. Okay, CAD Japanese yen, okay, alright, you attend, okay, that's good, even though it's a bit late. Just curious if you are joining Chinese. Actually, there hasn't been a lot of discussions about it on my side, but certainly my Chinese is not that fluent. I could speak some like basic stuff, so my wording, my vocabulary will be limited, but I used to do it for around 3 months actually. So we'll see how the adjustment works, whether they actually do request for me to speak it. But since I'm from Indonesia, I think they were much more willing for me to speak Bahasa in return rather than speaking Mandarin. I'm not sure what are the arrangements, but so far I think we'll try to see. But again, I think me and Jaden should be still in the English team, but I think just trying to elaborate much more further and try to attract wider audiences. I believe that should be the case, as sometimes different teacher and different teacher had different analysis, and people sometimes just love to hear the analysis. Okay, Bahasa great too. That's great. Are you from, I believe you're from Malaysia, right? That should be right. Okay, so far the market movement on the currency side is also not really interesting, guys, honestly. So that's why the market movement hasn't been a lot too. So it's a slight drop, and we'll see how that goes. Yeah, it's certainly still sometimes still new, but again, guys, on the corporate side, things maybe not will be as easy as that. They have their own considerations and they have their own thoughts, their own ideas. So yeah, certainly we'll try to see out how that goes, but ultimately we'll try to serve you as long as possible. That will be definitely the case, guys. Alright, and so what else is interesting? Nothing much, guys, honestly. It's the end of the market, Friday. Euro USD weakening, as we started to see Euro weakening, US dollar strengthening a little bit, but I'm afraid that the momentum will be just ranging again on this Euro USD, guys. Okay, so nothing much, guys. I'm afraid that is the case. If we are to dissect every single trading pair, I'm afraid nothing much will be moving, guys. Even on the stock indices side, things also started to slow down too, because most of the market events will be appearing during the US sessions, where most of the trading volumes is actually from there, guys. So I'm afraid if, let's say, we try to take a look there. Okay, so maybe for some people they are not having problem listening English, but maybe since I think most Malaysians still much more used to hearing in Mandarin, I think we'll see. But certainly if they are asking me to elaborate more using both English and Mandarin, I'll be happy to do so, but certainly I will just be not that fluent on the market. Yeah, it will be different. Yeah, just trying to do my best. Certainly that is the case. We've already been doing so for almost 12 months, guys. Okay, so I think it's been quite some times here. So it's been almost 12 months. So yep, so you can see that everything is also slowing down from stock indices, and I believe if we are checking on the all market, so just now we are watching through this US 100 side, nothing much of a change, guys. Slowing down, not really showing the strength that we are given throughout the Thursday market. Prices are relatively so strong, and it seems that prices is trying to break 23,000, but it hasn't happened yet. And we'll try to see how that goes. I mean, that's also how long this has been PL. Alright, so yeah, we are right here from the start, and we'll see how this goes. Okay, yep, but certainly, yep, prices has been a little bit slow, nothing much of a change everywhere here and there. So let us see how this goes, guys. So most of the assets is still slightly slower, and I believe all markets should be ranging again after that big drop earlier on. So nothing much, a big drop and then slowing down also on the all market, but the overall conclusion still remains the same for the all market. If we are switching to daily chart, that prices should be ranging first for now, not giving us any big market reactions, and we'll see how that goes. But ultimately, I think with this kind of a slow market movement today, I won't be expecting much of a change or any directions. New directions probably will be waiting next week, as you guys also do expect, coming up with the tariff deadline. Certainly should be some interesting movement, even though, like I said, sometimes big news doesn't really actually giving us any clear signs of the market. It's usually going to be a little bit slower too, guys, also on the market. That could also be the case, because if you guys are watching, so all market has been ranging. The gold market has actually been ranging too, if you guys are watching through this week's only. So this week, other than the Monday and Tuesday market, which has been relatively much better, but other than that, it has been moving in a slow pace on the market. So this is literally just the 1 week and really ranging, not showing a lot of movements, guys. And compare it with last week. So last week it should be till here, guys. Okay, so last week is much more interesting, as you guys could also see it by your own. At least there's a clear movement, and the trend really do exist compared to the ones that right now, other than the Monday and Tuesday onwards for this week, prices has relatively been slow on the market. So you guys can see it on your own, try to analyze it and try to see is there any remarkable changes. But I think back on the market here, we are seeing some signs that long-term wise, silver could be performing much better, guys, on the market. So I would suggest maybe you guys could try to take a closer look on this silver market long run. I know trading on the long run should be a little bit tougher, but at the very least, if you are seeing some good signs happening on the long run, we should be able to see some trends happening. Maybe we could start seeing that silver prices could start to go higher. I hope that will be the case on the market. If the silver market starts to break out the consolidations at the $37.15, we should be able to see that prices will continue to go up pretty quick from here, guys. Alright, so definitely I'll be expecting to try to see that. Okay, so back again, let us see shorter time frame, any changes. Yep, prices are again ranging, showing not much of a change, honestly speaking. Okay, so actually, if you do you prefer to hear the analysis through Mandarin or English actually? So far, I know it's been a slow market, guys, but certainly I hope you guys get a little bit of an idea what you guys could expect for tonight. It will be a slow market. Don't rush your decisions, and make sure if you think that there's no good setups, don't try to force your trades. Oh, okay, yes, I do definitely understand what you mean. Yeah, because you're more used to it. Yeah, that will be certainly the case. But in return, I'm much more of the opposite. Yeah, definitely it will be the terms, and sometimes simple terms is actually used in English too. But yeah, certainly you are much more fluent in Mandarin. Certainly you can ask much more precise. Yeah. So far, yeah, price movement is still there, slowing down, still in line with the view that prices is still moving on weaker side for tonight. And shall see, guys, so far throughout the live streaming sessions, prices just move between 3,331, 3,338. Yeah, and of course I'm new still. Yeah, but don't worry, actually I should say that if you see something that is, let's say, a term of the price action, candlestick and indicators, it will be used frequently and shouldn't be changing a lot. So I don't really see that as a big problem. As long as you maybe see it quite often, you should be able to remember about it. I think should be not a big deal. Yeah, just take your time. Yes, at least, because you still gotta do your work, right? I mean, honestly, when I'm not working, I really have a lot of free time. Could really use a lot of time to read books or do other stuff. But after working, certainly it's quite tired. It's quite tiring. Okay, so it seems that my time is almost up. So let me give you guys a little bit of review for the ones who will not be joining our VIP live sessions for tonight. But if you guys are joining, I'll be updating you guys along the live streaming sessions later on. So if you guys are interested to follow the VIP live sessions, where probably there could be some interesting movement happening there, you guys are welcome to click the link on the profile and ask me for the access on my VIP live sessions there. And if you guys are certainly interested to make good trades together with us, you guys are welcome to join us and make good trades together with us too. So you can ask for that as well through the link on my profile, guys, or the video descriptions. Alright, so gold, based on this current market movement, we are expecting that it should be ranging with the tendency of witness, because so far it has been very much in line with the downtrend that we have been seeing. And also from the silver market, I will not be expecting much, guys. Certainly prices is trying to break out, but it has failed, and I'll be expecting that prices will be ranging on the silver market. Meanwhile, the oil market, same thing, guys, not much of a change. After that drop, prices should be rebounding, and we should be able to see that prices will be ranging between the $67 and $67.50. So I will try to see how this market changes moves, but certainly the market has been slow, guys. And again, on the stock indices, I'll be expecting that there won't be significant changes as well. Prices should be consolidating right the support at 22,700 for the US 100, guys. Okay, so hope that helps you guys. And if you guys couldn't join the VIP live sessions, hope you guys have a wonderful trading day for today. I know it's not good, but certainly hope you guys have been able to control yourself on the trades and not over trade. I think that's the best thing if you guys don't really find a good setups. And see you guys on the VIP live sessions. If not, have a wonderful weekend and see you guys next week. Okay, bye.